this is Lori Alexander with A Transformed Wife, and I just wanted to share my struggle with weight. When I was growing up, I was really skinny. In fact, I was made fun of it because I was so bony, so skinny. And then in high school, I kept eating as much as I always have because I was always able to eat however much I wanted to. But then I started gaining weight, and I probably got about 15 pounds overweight. And I struggled with it all through, pretty much through college, especially my freshman year, that 15, freshman 15 or whatever. I definitely got it. My friends and I, we would go just pork out. We would go from restaurant to restaurant and just gorge ourselves. It was really awful. And it's amazing how many young women struggle with eating disorders today. It seems like almost every woman that I know of has struggled with some type of eating disorder, and the struggle with food is real rampant because it's so plentiful, it's so delicious, it's so easy available, and it's not that expensive. So many of us struggle with that. And once I got married, though, I didn't struggle with it as much because I knew someone was going to be seeing me naked all the time. So I was real conscious of that because I knew that I wanted to stay in shape for my husband. But then after I had my fourth baby, I got real sick and I had a lot of stomach problems, IBS, and a lot of problems. So I didn't have to struggle with my weight in trying to lose weight. I had to struggle with it in trying to gain weight for many years, just for since I was 30 and I'm 58 now. So I struggled all those years with trying to gain weight, and it was a really hard time because when you're sick, when your stomach's sick, you're just not hungry at all. And then in January, I had my hormones tested, as many of you know, and my pituitary is either dead or dying. My hormones were really bad, so I've had to be put on hormone replacement. And since January, I finally have an appetite, and I'm struggling with my weight again. In fact, I've been about 8 pounds underweight for a long time, in January even. But since then, I've gained about 5 pounds over what I like to be. And I don't like it. I don't think anyone likes to not be in control of their flesh and their, what they eat. They like to be in control. Like the Apostle Paul says that he disciplines his body and keeps it under, and he is moderate. We should be temperate in all things. And I wrote a post about that just recently. And I write those things for me too, because I like to be convicted. I like to be challenged and reminded that we're to be known for being temperate in everything, in how much we eat. And since this is such a struggle, I'm just going to help you, to give you what I've done to able to conquer my eating addiction. 4 months long. But anyway, as soon as I saw the scale creeping up, I knew that, and I could tell it in my clothes, and my belly was getting bigger, and I just don't like that. I like to be in control and in shape and be able to eat moderately and be temperate in everything. So what I did was that I reminded myself of what Paul said, that he beats his body under and he makes his body his slave. So I decided I'm going to make my body my slave. I'm not going to let it boss me around. And I knew that the best way to do that is for portion control. So now I just eat a much smaller portion of everything. I don't really deny myself a lot. Of course, I'm real into health, but my salads aren't quite as big. My healthy chocolate that I love to eat every single day, I don't eat as much. As soon as just all of my portions are a lot smaller. And then when I eat between meals, I try to eat cucumbers and red peppers. And for dinner, almost every dinner, I eat just a cup of my homemade soup with homemade broth, and because I like to because you shouldn't eat a big meal before dinner that just sits in your stomach. So most the battle's in the mind, women. It's just learning that you can do it, because you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. That you can discipline your body. If Paul can discipline his body and keep it, make it a slave, we can too. And it's believing it, and then forcing yourself. Like sometimes, like yesterday, I came home from church really hungry, And I have these great chips, potato chips. I love salty, crunchy things. And they're made with avocado oil. And so instead of getting a huge bowl full, a handful, I just will pick out 4 or 5 of them and eat that and until I have my salad a little while later. It's all in portion control. And then also, Ken and I walk every day. We used to walk about 20 minutes a day. After my last surgery 4 years ago, it was down to 20 minutes a day, and I struggled. Even in those 20 minutes, it was really hard for me to walk. But since I've been taking my hormones, I have a lot more energy. So about 6 weeks ago, I said, let's try going on our lawn and walk again. So now we walk about 40 minutes a day. And then on the weekends, we'll even walk up to an hour a day. Because exercise is important too, but it's probably only about 5-10% of it. Because I know a lot of people who exercise a ton, but they can't control their eating, so they're chunky. And they admit that to me. I'm not judging them, but they admit that they'll eat a whole bag of chips. They can't just eat one. They have to eat the whole bag. It's like, no, you can. Don't say you can't. You can, because you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You can eat 4 chips and find satisfaction there. I can eat a piece of chocolate that's about this big. Well, it's my healthy chocolate, so it's not like what you're thinking, like a big chocolate bar. It's coconut oil and everything. But I don't need to eat 2 of those anymore. So it's disciplining your body, portion control, and eating healthy food. I don't eat a lot of treats. I don't eat sugar. If I eat anything sweet, it's got honey in it. And if I eat sugar, it's for a special occasion, for a birthday or something. And even then, I just eat a little bit. You don't need, it's that first bite that tastes really good. And after that, the taste buds kind of get used to it, so it doesn't taste as good. So just remind yourself that you don't need 8 bites of that chocolate ice cream cake. You just can be satisfied with 4 bites instead. And you'll just feel better when you're disciplined and your body is the weight that you feel comfortable. Some people are bigger boned and aren't bigger, Some people are smaller, and I'm more smaller boned, and I like to be more on the lighter side. You just feel more happier when you're disciplined and you've got your eating under control. And you can do it, women. Just remind yourself that continually. And anyway, happy weight loss. Oh, and also I do weigh up myself a lot. I weigh myself almost every other day to make sure, because if I see myself creeping up, I'll even cut back more. And Ken and I keep each other accountable. We have no problem with telling each other what we weigh. And accountability is a really good thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. So anyway, talk to you later. Bye-bye.